The hot spot in Portland, Bayside Bowl, the OceanView Falmouth PBA League Finals for the Elias Cup about to begin. Previously on PBA League, the Atom Splitters continue their dominance. From the anchor position, Chris Barnes, the Hall of Famer, has been brilliant. And at the top of the lineup, Jesper Svensson was perfect in the semifinals. The Philadelphia Hitmen, a bit of a surprise. They had to go to 3 roll-offs to take out the defending champions. Tom Smallwood with this. Incredible messenger, now forcing U.S. Open champion Rhino Page to strike to stay alive. And it's the Hitman who advanced, taking out the 2-time defending champions. So who's it going to be? Philly or the Atom Splitters? Let's find out right now.
He looks good. He looks good. It's over now.
Yes, it's Bayside Bowl, and yes, it's downtown Portland, Maine, and yes, it is time for the OceanView at Falmouth PBA League Elias Cup Final. We take you inside this explosive atmosphere, and what a treat it has been for these fans so far with Motown Muscle, the Silver Lake Atom Splitters, Dallas Strikers, and the Philadelphia Hitmen moving on through the quarters. The semis, the Atom Splitters stayed perfect, and the Hitmen moved on. Now, it's the Atom Splitters and the Philadelphia Hitmen for the Elias Cup trophy. And now let's meet the finalists for the Elias Cup. First off, the Cisco Philadelphia Hitmen.
We are the Hitmen, always on target.
Messenger, down goes the 10.
Clutch under pressure.
Matt Sanders slams the door shut.
It's our time. The Hitmen, we're going to take the cup.
Oh, late there. What? Get out of my face!
Hitmen!
Leading off 4 PBA titles for this Marion, Indiana native, Ronnie Russell. In the number 2 position with 2 PBA titles from Avon, Ohio, Chris Loschetter. In the number 3 spot with 6 titles and a major to his name from Colchester, England, the Dominator, Tom Barrett. In the number 4 spot with 3 titles and 2 major championships to his credit from Saginaw, Michigan, Tom Smallwood. And the Anchorman, the 2017 Harry Golden PBA Rookie of the Year from Evansville, Indiana, Matt Sanders. And the manager is a 16-time PBA titleist and multiple Hall of Famer, the 24th greatest player in PBA history, Jason Couch. And now let's meet the Go Bowling Silver Lake Atom Splitters.
We're the Atom Splitters.
Go, go, go!
2-time Elias Cup champions. Look who's back, baby. The MVP.
Leading off from Gothenburg, Sweden, 7 PBA titles and a major, Jesper Svensson. In the number 2 position, 2 of his 5 titles have happened right here at Bayside Bowl. The Baron of Bayside from Columbia, South Carolina, Dick Allen.
In the number 3 position with 5 regional titles from Oswego, Illinois, A.J. Johnson. Fourth, with 2 PBA titles from Tampa, Florida, Tom Doherty. And the anchorman is a PBA Hall of Famer as of this year with 18 championship, 3 majors, and a triple crown from Double Oak, Texas, Chris Barnes. And managing the Splitters, a 4-time PBA titleist, one of the great coaches of the game from Yorba Linda, California, Mark Baker. And here we go for the title, along with the Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Kimberly Pressler. I'm Dave Lamont, and thank you very much for joining us. This is a potent finale, but Philadelphia is running into a very powerful team, and the Hitmen have had to work hard to get here.
Boy, they really have, and I'll tell you what, who would have thought Matt Sanders, a rookie to the PBA League, would step up the way he did? But he struck not only once, but twice in 2 roll-offs just to get his team to the finals. And oh, by the way, Mr. Lamont, guess who's going to be bowling anchor for the Hitmen coming up? That's right, Matt Sanders.
We already know what's going to happen with the Adams Splitters because they have cruised through their first opponents. They haven't lost a game.
Yeah, averaging 245 from 4 games. There's so much firepower from top to bottom in this team. Jesper Svensson, well, we all know what he can do when he gets going. But it's like that for the entire team. And Chris Barnes in the anchor position, well, he's been all but perfect.
So the anchors are surrounded. Kimberly Pressler. Kimberly?
They sure are, and we are lane side. And you know, Chris, you and your team have pretty much dominated coming into here. Randy mentioned that you guys are averaging 245. So how much strategy amongst the players goes into it to play the lanes?
Well, we have been talking a lot between each other, and the 2 lanes, at least the first match especially, were a lot different. And so that communication has been key for us as we move lane to lane to continue striking.
We'll see if that communication continues to work for you guys in the upcoming match. Thank you for your time. So, Matt, let's keep talking about domination because you have really stepped up for your team, so much so that they have now entrusted you in the anchor position. How do you handle that pressure?
We'll see. I think, just like Couch said, all 5 of us will step in that spot any day. So next man up.
Yes, but they picked you. Are you ready for this?
Yep, for sure.
All right, guys.
Kimberly, thank you. Matt and Chris, thank you. And he has proven he's ready. So take a look at our format. This is a little bit different. We have 2 best-of-2 Baker team matches, basically 2 sets. If the series is tied 1-1, we have a 1-bowl roll-off to determine the cup winner. We actually counted this up, and it took some time. We have the potential for 7 roll-offs today. 7.
Yeah, I think that's a first.
May not get there. I mean, a lot has to happen, but it could. And on the left lane, Ronnie Russell begins with a quiet 10.
I was talking with both managers, Mark Baker and Jason Couch, and I was asking, is there an advantage to starting on the left lane and finishing on the right lane, or vice versa? And Mark Baker said it doesn't matter for our team.
Well, it certainly hasn't so far.
Yeah. But for the Hitmen, they would prefer to start on the left lane. That's exactly what they're doing.
Here's Jesper Svensson. 7 of 8 in PBA League action. And the deal here again with Baker is the leadoff bowlers bowl the 1st and 6th frames.
The Iceman cometh.
It is as if he took an axe to that rack and just cut everything in half. We take a look at what we are bowling on today, Randy, and it's named after one of the greatest.
42 feet in length, named after Mark Roth, and multiple angles for sure. We've seen players playing all over the place on the right side of the lane since the start of this.
Man, wow, Chris Loschetter seems to have adjusted very nicely. He bowled very well in the semis.
The right-handers that can stay far enough to the right on the left lane have had the most success.
Speaking of success, getting Dick Allen back for the Atom Splitters has paid off handsomely to this date. And that 10 will not go down. He won the Markroth MVP once before. He has a title with the Atom Splitters a few years ago, and there's the man himself. And he will be giving out that MVP trophy. Always, always good to have him in whatever building we are in.
One of the greatest of all time, Mark Roth. Boy, his dominance back in the late 70s, early 80s was unmatched.
Not only that, I think he changed the game in a way.
Yeah.
There are certain bowlers who were just great bowlers, but he was also not just a great bowler, but a revolutionary bowler. And I didn't mean a rev rate revolution, but you know what I mean.
Father of the power game.
Yep.
I remember watching Mark and Marshall Holman growing up. It was all about power for them.
Tom Barrett crosses over a little bit, and that will happen on that left lane to the right-hander.
A little stiff on that one. A little stiff on that one.
All right, man. Come on.
Tom almost admitting that he had to wait too long to throw this shot.
Even the very best get a little nervous in this environment.
Luckily, had the warm-ups out there.
Yeah.
They got your bloody flag up.
Now a look at A.J. Johnson, a rookie in PBA League. 3 strikes out of 8.
See the blue oil and all the rings. It's called track flare. The higher the rev rate, and depending on the design of the bowling ball, creates more rings around the ball.
That's a lot of rev rate right there.
That is a mittful. What movie was that when he said, he got out of that one?
That'd be a little thing we like to call Caddyshack. I think you and I have both played that golf course.
Back in the day.
Yes, sir.
South Florida.
Here's Tom Smallwood, 5 of 9 strikes, none bigger than the one to roll off.
All right, right down.
You can see they're trying to go straighter off the bat.
Attack went a little too straight that time.
That one was a little too straight, a little too end over end for Smallwood. Look how flat this roll is. You can see it rolling end over end.
Smallwood hits one of 2 pockets to blow that spare up.
Yeah, I never saw the friction. No worries.
Tom Doherty. 6 strikes out of 8 for Tom. He's a veteran of PBA League play. He's retained. You retain out of your 5. You retain 3, and you put 2 back in the draft pool, and you pick 2 more. On the straighter is greater theory, Tom Doherty weighs in.
He stayed with urethane throughout the entire competition, and he's been deadly with it.
He's an athlete.
And now in the anchor position for the first time, they turn to the rookie, Matt Sanders. Jason Couch, the manager, making the decision to shuffle his lineup from the semis. A light hit, and everything just collapsed.
Got away with it?
I don't know if we don't have a Rookie of the Year award in PBA League, but if we did, that's the guy.
Without question.
He might win the Mark Roth MVP, and here's another candidate for it right here, and he's won that award before, Hall of Famer Chris Barnes. All day for him. Well, a strong start for both sides, but the powerful Atom Splitters have the 23-pin advantage after 5. The OceanView at Falmouth PBA League Elias Cup Finals are brought to you by OceanView at Falmouth, an active, maintenance-free lifestyle just minutes from Portland. This is retirement living. By Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. By Port Property Management, locally owned and operated since 1993. And by the University of New England, Maine's largest private university. Learn more at une.edu. Few better places on the outside than Maine and on the inside than the crowd here at Portland, Maine. We love them and they love bowling back.
The inaugural Elias Cup was contested in 2013 at Detroit's Thunder Bowl. The #1 ranked team, the New York City WTT Kingpins, put on a clinic against the Motown Muscle. Tommy Jones was on that team. So is Jack Jurek. The founder, Billie Jean King, watched the Kingpins finish off the match with 7 straight strikes, firing up John Zerbinski and the smooth Scott Norton. And of course, PDW. And the league's first female player, Kelly Kulick, would throw the final strike to nail down the inaugural Elias Cup over the muscle.
There you see, after 5, the Hitmen down by 23. Ronnie Russell will lead things off on the left lane after a 9 spare for Ronnie. Solid as they come. And that goes through the nose. Now, we're seeing from the right-handers, Randy, some different approaches. We're seeing Ronnie Russell kind of take the long way home. We've seen Tom Doherty and Chris Barnes go fairly much straight at it. Why are we seeing these different approaches?
The old pattern lends itself to that, along with the topography and the surface here at Bayside.
Never an easy spare to convert, and professionally handled there by Ronnie.
It's too far out. It's stupid.
And then there's this guy. Oof, 90% success rate for Jesper.
Well, they've made a habit of this. A lot of strikes from top to bottom from Silver Lake Atom Splitters. It's just a strike fest.
And it's been for him too. Chris has bowled brilliantly.
Had a nice week last week and then off to a good start today.
But just to remind everybody of a point Randy made a few minutes ago. This Atom Splitters team has averaged 245 and going 4-0. That's got to hurry. And every time we say that, for them, it hurries. It's unbelievable. The Atom Splitters are up by 43 through 7.
No thinking, boys. No thinking.
And Barrett buries 10. Nicely done. A little better indeed, Dom.
Even Dom Barrett's trying to play farther out and going straighter.
They're going to need some help, the Hitmen, if they're going to take the first. Now, we have two-game sets. This is the first game in the first set. You've got to win them both to take the Elias Cup. Bam Bam, the chant here for this powerful bowler. My goodness, he's done well. And he's an emotional charge. You got some less emotional guys on that team, and then you got AJ.
Another great shot by A.J. Johnson. His first time here in Portland, Maine. You wouldn't know it by that shot.
And all the rookies have really embraced the environment here, and they have been embraced themselves.
Look out.
3-6-10 with more in the back.
That's a try, number one.
Game 1 is going to Silver Lake in a rout. Don Barrett said, forget about shooting the spare. Throw another strike ball. See if you can find a different strike line.
By the way, the comment Silver Lake has won this game in a rout was not taken from previous shows, but it could have been. They have been that dominant so far now through 5 games.
And this is how we see the 3-6-9-10 converted more often these days, and that is your hammer cut spare replay.
Touch light.
Well, you see what he did there? He went to reactive, moved in to test the waters. Game is in hand, so he decided to go with a different piece of equipment.
Of course, they'll be shifting lanes too, so they'll be going to the left lane.
That's a good 10 boards left.
No need to throw urethane out there more than I have to.
No, probably not.
So Matt Sanders here in the 10th, and his first time as an anchor man. It wasn't his fault. He struck. And then leaves a mess behind there.
I might shuffle their lineup. The next time they come back to the left lane. Looks like a pretty good shot as well, and just hangs.
Here, I think that was Don Barrett. It looked like he threw that well.
Yeah.
And never got there from Jason Couch was the comment. And that is deadly accurate, unfortunately, for Matt. And he just basically threw a strike shot. There was really no interest in converting it to get an idea what to look for later on, because again, with 4 games, they will be back on that lane.
Remember last week, that's the lane that got Rhino Page. He went wide on it, left that shaker 7-9 because of the 3-pin falling late.
So let's see what the bowling scientist himself comes up with here to create for himself. Oh, just another strike? Well, maybe not. Ringing 10 then.
I have a spare ball over here? Oh, yeah.
Well, he hasn't hardly needed one.
No.
In case you're wondering, I was.
Huh?
It didn't matter.
So the Atom Splitters, if Chris gets 7 or better, will exceed or equal their 245 average.
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't want to throw another urethane shot over there. If I don't.
Now, why would Tom Doherty say he doesn't want to throw another urethane shot if he didn't have to?
He doesn't want to continue to drag oil down the lane. It's just going to make it tougher for his mates to get to the pocket.
Had some dead wood and the channel cleared out. Everything gets a reaction here in Portland. 248. Their average just got a little bit better. The Atom Splitters do what the Atom Splitters have done throughout the Elias Cup competition. That's one indeed, Chris. Now, if they win this next one, they'll take the first set and get even closer to the Elias Cup. If they get it, it would be their 3rd.
Back inside Bayside Bowl here in Portland with the Atom Splitters having taken the first game of match number 1 against the Hitmen by a comfortable margin. The Atom Splitters have tasted victory in this Elias Cup before. We go back to 2014, and that trophy went to Mark Baker, and he had a squad full of winners. Chris Barnes tripping out some trouble. Dom Barrett, multiple titleists on the PBA Tour. How about the big nasty, Wes Malott? And the human victory cigar, Tommy Jones, going to win another title. In fact, that strike wrapped it up against LAX, 225-203. What's interesting to note is the only ones left, as Mark Roth congratulates the champions, are Mark Baker and Chris Barnes. And that duo has bedeviled the Hitmen early on. Kimberly is standing by with Philadelphia coach and manager Jason Couch.
Jason, the Atom Splitters, they continued their dominance in that last match in their performance against you guys. I saw you talking to your team. Are there going to be any changes in the lineup?
I did make a few changes to the lineup, but I reminded my guys that this format allows you to get beat up pretty good that one game. But if you win the next game, we're in a roll-off. So total pins is irrelevant. We're just going to go back out there, get fundamentally sound, and we're going to make great shots this game.
What are the changes?
I've moved Low Shedder to the lead spot. I'm going to have Ronnie behind him, and I've moved Smallwood up to 3, and I've got Dom 4 and Matt Sanders 5.
All right, well, good luck to you guys.
Thanks.
That's almost a complete reshuffling there.
Yeah, he's just trying to find the right combination and to have players feed off of one another so they can get a better read on what the old pattern's giving them as the lanes change.
You got to try to do something because right now Silver Lake is making this look easy.
Yeah, again, it's just a carbon copy of what they've been doing, and I don't see them slowing down anytime soon.
Well, we're going to find out if Philadelphia's adjustments work because they still have a chance. Jason Couch was right. A victory here, and we go to a roll-off. So there it is, the Elias Cup. And that was named after the founder of the PBA, Eddie Elias, and of course the PBA celebrating anniversary number 60. The first meeting was in Syracuse, oddly enough, where we had the USBC Masters in April. Now we go on to game 2. And remember, this is 2 sets, 2 best-of-2 Baker team matches. If we tie 1-1 in the first set, we will have a 1-ball roll-off. And that was Jason Couch's point when he talked to Kimberly. We're not out of this yet. We're moving to the left lane, or Jesper Svensson. Hey, he has been frightening. 90% success rate. Plus another higher tip or 2. Man.
It's like a snowplow going through a bunch of snowmen. There's just no chance for anything to stand when his ball hits there.
Here's one of the first changes. Chris Loschetter, who's bowled really well, is now the leadoff man. And look, he continues to be hot today.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7 is where it should be. Right. A lot down the lane though. Has to be earlier, which is why you can't have your feet stuck on that.
No changes for the Atom Splitters. Why would you? 7-10 and gone is the 10-pin.
You want the cane?
This is our Barbasol close shave of the day.
Ah, the messenger.
I believe you said last week, whose house is this? It's Allen's house.
That's right.
Now Ronnie Russell out of the number 2 slot. He can't get that same break.
A little late down lane for that ball to get the 10 out. Headpin never had a chance to come across.
Don't you feel like every time you don't strike, if you're Philly, that you're falling further behind? It's like almost a failure.
I probably could have thrown the Blackwood from there.
They just don't let up.
I like that one a lot.
It's like Mike Tyson back in his heyday for 15 straight rounds. Just getting pounded.
I don't think you need to make a ball change.
Now A.J. Johnson. And a ring and 10 for the PBA Good looking shot.
Golly.
It's all right. Come on, spare him.
And he did. Very nice.
Pretty good pitch there. Yikes. That was good. No worries.
Hey,
Right there again. Take the chances.
Tom Smallwood. He has bowled out of the 3 spot before. He's also been the anchor. And the 4-man, and he divides and conquers with that shot.
Really changed his ball roll from when he was in and curving it. He's trying to go straighter, so he tries to get more up the back and make it roll end over end. At times, the pins cooperated with Smallwood.
We wondered, with Portland out of it, who the crowd would root for. Philly's a little bit of an underdog here, but it might be the Adams Splitters. And Doherty, now Messer's just going to forget to even swing by. So back-to-back 10 pins on that left lane, and the Hitmen are far from out of it here in the early going.
You know, I really liked what manager Jason Couch said in his interview with Kimberly, in that forget about how much we lost that game by. If we win the next game, we're in a roll-off.
Yeah. And the Adams Splitters will finish on that left lane in the second set in the second game. Clean your plate is what the crowd is saying.
Look out.
He didn't. And just like that.
And Tom Doherty's a good spare shooter. Real good spare shooter.
Really wasn't close on that one at all. Now a door that Dom Barrett could really open up here. Dom back in the number 4. He's been in the 3rd and 5th positions, now in the number 4 position.
Oh boy.
Oh my. He has struggled a bit with his look in this event.
That was okay.
Yeah, he thought it was okay. I thought it was okay, and that ball hydroplaned.
I knew you were going to tell me.
This gets to the middle part of the lane, and right about there it needs to start going left, and it just wiggled.
We've seen so many balls snap left into the pocket, too.
Well, back-to-back opens for each team. Very unexpected.
Well, let's see what Chris Barnes does on this left lane. Let's see a ridiculous number of strikes for Chris.
I think Chris has got the most dependable line to the pocket, really.
Again.
Just the frozen rope.
I said it before, it looks like he's ziplining that thing straight into the heart.
The high hard one to the 1-3.
Man.
It's okay.
And right when
we knew it. We got it.
the Hitmen got a break to get right back into this, they get it right back, and Barnes steps up and goes 10 in the pit.
Matt Sanders can keep it close here.
Last week, he had the whole left side of this lane. Still there.
Man. So impressive. That is a big shot for the Hitmen.
Great shot. Great shot.
Keeps them within striking distance of the Adams Splitters, who are trying to win this first set to capture their 3rd Elias Cup. This week, Extra Frame features live coverage of this year's first major on the PWBA Tour, the USBC Queens. In addition, live start-to-finish coverage of the PBA Extra Frame Wilmington Open is on the schedule. Don't miss any of the action. Get your yearly, monthly, or 3-day subscription today by clicking on the Extra Frame link in the menu section of PBA.com. With Kimberly Pressler and Randy Peterson, Dave Lamont, and these guys, the Atom Splitters and the Hitmen, going at it for the Elias Cup Championship.
These guys are like the goons in hockey. Relentless.
Or the Monstars in Space Jam. That's got to hurry. Goalposts were taken down, but the 10-pin remains. And a rare miss for Jesper.
You heard Anchorman Barnes said pretty good pitch there, and it was. A little bit unusual pin carry, or lack thereof, for Jesper.
Didn't like something on the approach, but he converts it anyway, and that'll be all for him for this game, unless he is chosen for a roll-off if we need one. Hitmen still very much within range. And now Loschetter, who has been solid today. And I thought that had a chance.
Another soft 10. That spot with what is decent rev rate for most, but you compare it to the real high rev rate guys, they kick that out. And that's the difference a lot of times in getting to a show, not getting to a show. When you can carry a couple more times a game, you think about how many pins that is. Look out.
Yeah, that didn't look comfortable at all. Not at all. That one kind of dribbled it down the lane when he released it.
Think about it now. If you kick that 10 out versus missing it, the difference in pitfall.
That's a little perfect. That really held the line, and Dick Allen just continues to shine.
Get this first one out of the way.
Another MVP contender, by the way, right there.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough if Silver Lake does win the whole thing. They've got about 3 people you can look at it as an MVP there between Svensson, Barnes, and Allen. Clutch strike for Ronnie Russell.
Beauty. Well, they're 21 down, and that can turn into more with another strike here by A.J. Johnson.
It would be a low score for the Atom Splitters if they max their 237. It's a big shot here for A.J. Keep the pressure on the Hitman. That was cracked.
Tell you what, he's fared pretty well in this competition. He's handled all the pressure and everything thrown at him. He's made some great shots. Great addition to that team.
That one was thrown with some anger to it.
Bad intentions behind that last shot.
Smallwood finds success.
I like that shot a little bit better, and I'll tell you why. It had a little more side rotation to it. I don't like it when Smallwood has to roll it up the back. He's a full roller, and when he tries to go real straight and he gets his roll end over end, the ball doesn't react very well for him, I don't think. That had a little more side action to it.
Now in the foundation, Tom Doherty. a urethane.
Come on, buddy. What the hell? One down. Great shot.
It's like that song, Charlie Brown. Why is everybody always picking on you?
Well, that's the second time he's left the solid 8 on that leg. Ball just goes right by it. Pfeiffer gets there first and chops it straight back.
That could have really been a punch to the gut for the Hitman.
Well, and the other thing is now we have a possibility of a tie. We'll do some quick math here.
What the hell?
Silver Lake can strike out for 216. The Hitman can strike out for 216.
I like it. But Don Barrett has only batted 50% in strikes so far. But when he needed it, he ripped it.
Good shot by the Dominator.
Well, here you go. Anchormen face to face.
5 minutes.
Well, we got a new show starting up here right now, and it's called Anchormen. And Will Ferrell is not starring in it. It's going to be Chris Barnes and Matt Sanders.
There's one.
That ball is going left to left out of his hand. It's not going straight up the boards. It's actually going left, and it's just a straight shot at the pocket.
They're now shouting Hall of Fame. Yes, sir. How about one more?
Got that one, too. All right.
If he strikes, he will force Matt Sanders to strike out to force a roll-off.
Catches just enough for the 1-3, and with 16 pounds at that velocity and that angle, no wonder Orange has been so good in the 10th throughout the competition.
My heavens! That is Hall of Fame bowling.
You're first. He's second.
And you heard the already Mark Baker planning. I think he's going to go with Chris first and Tom Doherty second. Yeah. If Matt Sanders strikes out, that's just to get to the roll-off in this first set. Remember, there are 2 more games following this. And we're not finished with this game yet. Man, I am so impressed with this guy. Wow.
Yeah, and so we talk about his physical game, which obviously anybody can see that. But when you're this good mentally at age 25, only his 2nd year on tour.
Let me see if I can buy some Matt Sanders futures.
I'll tell you,
the price is going up fast.
The future's bright. Wow. He's got the Maple Moxie in the game to go with it.
And I would assume he's got to be your lead candidate for a roll-off should he go off the sheet,
without question.
Again. Oh, let's do one more for a roll-off.
Look at the demeanor. He's not getting overly excited. He's not running up. He's not slapping high fives with the entire crowd. If he gets this next one, he will.
I think we could probably both guess the order of the roll-off if we get there. Remember, he must strike or the first set goes 2-0 to Silver Lake. One more time they're asking for from Matt Sanders. This has to be perfect. We are not going to a roll-off. The Adams Splitters take the first set 2-0 and are halfway to a third Elias Cup.
PBA Hall of Famer Chris Barnes gets it done in the 10th. Zip lines another strike flush into the pocket and forced Matt Sanders to have to punch out just to get the roll-off going. Sanders got a double, but came up light. And so the Adams Splitters still haven't lost. Now they have a 1-0 lead on the Hitmen for the Elias Cup Finals.
The OceanView and Falmouth PBA League Elias Cup Finals are brought to you by MaineQuarterly.com. The main thing is you. Original. Get inspired at MaineQuarterly.com. By BowlingBall.com. It's where bowlers go with free shipping on every item every day. By Hyatt Place Old Port. Check into Hyatt Place Old Port. Check out Portland, Maine. And by Dexter, the #1 bowling shoe on the PBA Tour.
So 2015 was the debut of the Elias Cup in Portland, Maine, and Mika knows all about the emotion of this crowd. You get an idea of what this atmosphere is like, and we knew this was the place to be for the Elias Cup. Yes, it's the Adams Splitters, and yes, it's another Chris Barnes highlight. Tom Doherty, Messenger, and he wasn't the Baron of Bayside then, but Dick Allen was already showing the form that would make him a cult hero at Bayside Bowl in Portland. That was the clincher, and the MVP got a victory ride from his manager, Mark Baker. Same thing might happen again with this Adams Splitter squad as they go for a third title. What a finish we just had in that match, with Silver Lake winning by a pin. It came down to the last frame. Chris Barnes and A.J. Johnson are standing by with Kimberly Presley.
Yeah, these two right here are amazing for their team. And Chris Barnes, you just keep coming up here and doing exactly what has to get done. So you need a 3 in the 10th to force Matt to do the same. He wasn't able to, but you were. What's it like when you go up there and have to make those shots?
I can tell you, I've been out here a long time and I've had some pretty cool moments, but that is up there with one of the best ones. It feels great. The fans are fantastic, and what's even better, now I got 5 guys behind me. So instead of being more pressure, it actually feels like it's easier up there.
All right, thank you for your time, Chris. All right, so AJ, he's been here before. This is your first time on the PBA League, but I got to ask you the same question. You've been bowling really well, but what's it like for you knowing that you need to make strikes when you get up here for your team?
I got a really good team behind me. They're some of the best out here and one of the best coaches, and it really does make it easy to throw good shots, and this crowd makes it a lot easier to throw good shots.
How much are you feeding off this crowd?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Every time you get up and throw a shot, they're cheering for you and they want you to throw good shots, and it just makes it that much easier.
This crowd is one of the best in the world, guys.
All right, thank you very, very much, Kimberly, Chris, and AJ. So for Philadelphia, they've decided they're going to start on the left lane because they want the Adams Splitters to finish on the left lane. So what's the strategy there for Philly?
Well, they feel that it's easier for them to go from the left lane to the right lane. That didn't work out in our first 2 games. But what's the most impressive to me, Dave, is the shot making by Silver Lake. If you think about the amount of time in between each shot for these players, and remember, most of them are only getting 2 shots, their shot making has been ultra impressive.
Let's go to shot making of a different kind with our Go Bowling PBA Fan Tip of the Week. Let's go to Imperial, Missouri, and see if we can help Montana out with a tip from Randy.
Hi, I'm Montana Meyer, and I bowl at Imperial Bowl, and I've been having issues shooting the 2-4-5 combination. Randy, can you help me out?
All right, Montana. First of all, you've got a beautiful game. I love everything that you're doing. When you leave the 2-4-5 or any bucket combination, there's two ways you can go about trying to convert. One is you could take that same strike ball and move about 3 or 4 boards right with your feet, leave your strike target the same, and try to hook your strike ball into that spare, or just grab a plastic house ball or a plastic spare ball or a urethane spare ball. You don't want to use a house ball. Move right and throw it straight at that lead pin. That's how I shoot the 2-4-5. Maybe that'll work for you.
That's if he ever leaves it. So we're going to find out who's going to carry the Elias Cup out of this building with our next 2 games that are going to start in a moment. A little bit of everything here in Portland, Maine, and what they're chanting is "Get a brick." At Bayside Bowl, if they're chanting "Get a brick," that means they want a 300 game, and you get your name on the wall of 300 bricks, or a wall of 300 bricks in the bowling center. There aren't actually 300 bricks yet. And if you go down there, you'll see Mr. Pickles, of course. Who can forget that? Cracker Jack, Buck Ripcord. The Dallas Strikers did it a couple of years ago. The Big Nasty. And I believe Jason Belmonte is on there somewhere.
He is, more than once, I believe.
Yep, there's one, Belmo. I don't know how you're Gutter Boy and get a brick. Gutter Boy's done it twice.
2016, the Strikers turned to Norm Duke. He needs all 3 in the 10. There's one. Number 2 for 290. For the 300. Norm doesn't run it out. He hopped it out. By the way, this would not be the last time we'd ever see Norm Duke with a huge celebration in this event in this building for the Dallas Strikers. What a great team they had in 2016 with Billy O'Neill. Tommy Jones again wins the title. That is an incredible group of bowlers right there. Norm Duke on top.
All right, here we go. So this is set number 2. But it's starting over in a way. It's the best of 2 again. And Chris Rosetter leaves a solid 4-pin behind. Just the same deal. You win 2. Now here's how this shakes out. If the Hitmen come back and win 2 here, we'll have a roll-off of the whole thing.
Right.
If the Atom Splitters win the 2, they win. Well, solid start for Chris.
All right, good try. That was close. Yeah.
Jesper Svensson at the top of the order. No lineup changes for either manager here. And again, you're not moving Jesper from that number 1 spot. It's the guys like Ricky Henderson right now. Except he doesn't refer to himself in the first person, I don't think.
Get set. Walk to the foul line. Rip the cover off of it. Repeat.
With a heart rate of about 19.
Yeah.
Ronnie Russell. Yes, sir.
Let's go.
Burning down the house with that one. The Baron of Bayside.
The Pope of Portland. Oh, he leaves a 7. I was trying to get another nickname.
Hey, you're very welcome to do that. But we're not used to seeing Dick Allen shoot spares in this competition.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to lift a spare ball back at the hotel.
That could have struck real easy, too.
And that 4-pin kind of muddied the waters there.
All right, guys. Get it going, man.
Hold me up, fellas. Hold me up.
And a rare opportunity now for the Hitmen to take an early lead.
It's a fresh start for them. Again, if they manage to win this set and win the roll-off, they're number one. Ballwood trying to sneak in, and it came up a little bit light. 2-5-8.
Yeah, that was in our fan tip. It's a bucket combination. The only pin missing, the 4-pin. I like curving it into that little cluster there, or throwing a straight ball right at the lead pin.
Tom switching the spare ball here.
No, I think he's going with a strike ball. He tried to hook it, and he chops the 5 off.
No, you're absolutely right about and then he unfortunately missed that pocket that Randy suggested he hit. So here's A.J. Johnson batting 500, but he had a big strike in the last game. An early opportunity here for the Adams splitters. Not that they've needed many opportunities. They've jumped on about every one of them. Ringer again. He has had what seems like 3 or 4 ringers in this competition.
Yeah, good pitch here by AJ. Just right of third arrow. And a vicious ring and 10 once again for that young man.
Have to take advantage and make the Hitmen pay even a little price for that open frame. Barrett flush in through the pocket.
All right. Good shot after that open frame from Don Barrett.
We'll see if Silver Lake can push back. Tom Doherty's had some horrific luck.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say he can't leave a solid 8 on the right lane.
7 out of 12 should be probably 9 or 10 out of 12 for Tom. Back. He loved it immediately.
No solid 8 there. That was fast and pretty straight. And
fast and furious.
And then the Motumbo, don't bring that in here. My house. Another solid 8 on the left lane. This time by a left-hander.
Wobbled a touch.
Yeah, this is getting a little crazy with that pin.
Right now, every spare, even the ones that look to be the simplest, really matters. But again, Philly, all they have to do is win 2 and a roll-off, and they win it all. And this game is close. But this guy here, Chris Barnes, has been on fire. Even that Chris Barnes appreciates it.
Oh boy,
could be Brooklyn. No, it's a split. His first bad shot of the entire competition.
Really hard and pulled. Yeah, he knew it. Sometimes when you get too aggressive, your hand stays in it just a shade longer, and you end up pulling it. Elbow flies around, and the ball goes left out of your hand.
Oh, bounced it around a little bit before it finally quieted down. So through 5, the Hitmen have snuck ahead by a pin. They're off of a mark in the 5th frame. Can Philadelphia make the comeback? So much beauty in one shot. Not just, of course, the gorgeous skyline of the lighthouse, but the Elias Cup. At the moment, the fingerprints on it belong to the Atom Splitters, but they now trail in this second set, best of 2. Hey, we want to say our very best to Bill Bent, PBA Public Relations. Randy, what a distinguished career, 40 years around professional bowling, and he is not completely retiring, but he's going to get off the road.
His last road gig. Bill, thank you so much for all your hard work and efforts over the years. Invaluable information that we collect from Bill week in and week out here on the PBA Tour.
Yep. Does a magnificent job. Look out, goalposts are taken down, and Chris will only have to mess around with 7 pin.
That pin comes off the sidewall and takes the 10 out, but the 7 still standing. Game was tied up until that shot right there.
And look at that. Just you blink and it's -11.
Come on, guys. Let's pick him up. Let's pick him up.
And oh, by the way, another MVP candidate steps up in Jesper Svensson. You're always surprised when he doesn't strike.
Run it down, bad shot, run it down.
Good night.
Well, he got it wide. And it comes up light. Jesper winning the Mark Roth Marshall Holman doubles here last year with Kyle Troop.
That was a very popular victory.
Yeah, it was an exciting show. I believe Kyle and Jesper teamed up for 279 the last game.
Well, every little bit helps.
All right, right where we want to be with 4 to go. Let's go.
So after that surprising 9 miss, Ronnie Russell will step in and try to right the ship for the Hitmen. And 3-6-10. Well, the man they're calling flip-flops because apparently when they had the infamous Pro-Am here, Ronnie wore flip-flops.
I see.
And won the Pro-Am with flip-flops on.
So he was bowling with flip-flops on?
Yep. That's the rumor. Hey, when you're good, you're good.
Trust the coach.
Dick Allen, who didn't strike in the second frame, and that was breaking news.
Yes, sir.
Back to normal.
Like I said, nobody better there. Back me up. Back me up.
Dick Allen back in action.
Nobody better at backing me up right now. Right, you.
Up by 11 with a strike working. They need Smallwood to set up the 9th and 10th.
Remember, Smalls opened, left a split behind his first time up on this lane in this game. Actually didn't leave a split. He chopped off the 258.
Smalls really laboring down lane to get to the pocket.
Come on, Smalls, run it down.
Couch looks worried. Some concern on his face as we take another look at Tom Smallwood's ball getting to the pocket late.
Look out. All right. Everything didn't seem right about that. Looking at his fingers didn't seem right. Footwork didn't seem right, but he gets a spare. Here's a real opportunity here for A.J. Johnson. Shot that is, and it's a 22-pin lead for the Splitters with 2 frames to go.
What are you going to do?
He obviously said his prayers and took his vitamins. Barrett tracks a beautiful strike in the 9th in the foundation for the Hitmen.
195 max score for the Hitmen as we take a look at Don Barrett's style. That classic snapping of the elbow and wrist creates all that power. 195 max for them. And right now, the Adams Splitters are at 197. With a possible 227 if they take it off the sheet. Coming down to the 10th again.
Barnes versus Sanders again.
Wow. Oh, that was pretty good there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
The last time we came, now this is a big shot here. Again, every little bit helps. But we've seen the Hitmen miss a single pin and miss another, not easy, but makeable spare opportunity. And yet they're still in this.
Not this time.
Going straight up and hard was Doherty.
All I did, man. All I did was set you up.
So how does this frame shake down? What does Sanders have to do here?
Sanders has to strike out to get to 195. Barnes would have to fill 20 in the 10th with a strike on the first ball and a spare, and they would win 196, 195.
And the first strike will not happen. I don't think I've ever said the words quitter 70, but
and now Barnes just needs to stay behind the foul line. They don't even need a mark. Certainly one of our lower scoring games throughout this competition. Phillies max score now 175.
But believe it or not, even though Philadelphia has not yet won a game, they can still win the Elias Cup. They will have to win the next game. I'm sorry, Randy.
No, you're good.
And then they'll have to win the roll-off.
Right.
They can still win.
You have to win the next game, win the roll-off, and then win the roll-off following that.
In the meantime, Chris Barnes is back to striking.
They have to close the deal now on the left lane.
You make him look good.
Here to make you look good, brother.
Can't imagine there will be any
Slightly better than the last one.
changes for the lineup. For the Adams Splitters. We'll see what Jason Couch is going to do for the Hitman if he tinkers with his lineup one more time. There's a 16-pound strike right there.
Yes, it was.
That was a good one.
You want to see my fourth arrow shot
I like that other
you see
one.
that?
Oh, yeah, definitely want to see it right now.
Yeah?
100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. Hey, will you get my ball?
Huh? Big curve, all right.
Going to play around here.
Oh, yeah. The lane's too long.
It's too long. It's too short. I need longer.
Oh, yeah,
The Adam Splitters still haven't lost a game. Our Ebonite flashback today, we go back to the Elias Cup last year, the 5th edition of the event and the 3rd straight year at Bayside, and Norm Duke led his team to a 5-1 victory over the hometown Portland Lumberjacks. Despite the best efforts of the Big Nasty, Dallas was just too strong from beginning to end. B.J. Moore in the middle just ripping, and Tommy Jones put the bow on this for his 4th championship, by the way, in team play.
But the Philadelphia Hitmen knocked the Strikers out of a three-peat effort. Now they've moved their lineup around a little bit too. Ronnie Russell back on top. Loesch moves to the number 2 spot. The Dominator goes to number 4. Matt Sanders and Tom Smallwood remain the same. Kimberly is standing by with Jason Couch.
Thanks, Dave. So we just saw that you made a lineup change, but this is a do-or-die moment for you and the team. What's your strategy?
I made a change. I felt like we needed to go back to where we were earlier in the day. My guys seem uncomfortable, but all it takes is one game to win right here, and we turn this thing completely around.
That's true. Good luck.
Thank you, Jason and Kimberly. The Hitmen don't seem all that worried because they'd come off the deck before against the Dallas Strikers, who'd won the last 2 and knocked them out in a roll-off. It seems like virtually every time, not virtually every time, the Adam Splitters need a great shot, they're getting it. Now we go to the left lane. 12 out of 15 for Jesper Svensson, just sweeping aside that like street garbage.
Right here, brother.
And with that emotion, his heart rate jumped above 20.
Well, this team competition is definitely a different animal.
Ronnie Russell rips it. Great looking shot.
Come on! Right here, guys. Right here. Show me your heart. Give us easy. Show me your heart.
Great advice by manager Jason Couch, the Hall of Famer.
But the Bear of Bayside has just been too good.
I misleft it. It shimmed up. Yeah, sorry.
That's what I told him.
All right, he said he misleft and he shimmed. What does that mean?
He said, I misleft and it shimmed up, meaning there's a little bit more hold there than the last time they were on that left lane.
And low center, oh, soft 10.
Come on, square up. Come on, run it down.
Good looking shot for a flat 10 for Loesch. Cover it up and move on.
Tough time with some single pins, but celebrating that one. Give his team a little jolt over a 10-pin. Why not?
A sarcastic celebration from Loesch. This guy's been pretty good today.
He has, and it seems like every one of his strikes have carried some weight behind it. They've been important ones. His last one almost took the power out of this place. Wow. Yes, it was, AJ. Yes, it was.
Right now, Silver Lake looking to take the Hitmen out behind the shed. They're really putting it to him.
Smallwood not quite ready for the woodshed as the Hitmen fight back.
They had the choice. They chose to finish on the right lane. Let's see if it pans out. But right now, I'm just hoping that I don't see Tom Doherty leave another solid 8 on the left lane.
That's front 4 for Silver Lake.
He's telling his teammates what adjustment he made. He said that was 1 left with his feet.
Barrett. Okay, trouble broken up there with a 9-pin collapsing.
Well, he may have tripped the 4-9 out, but this is starting to get out of hand, and we're only 4 frames.
Well, again, it's been the MO of the Atom splitters. When they get hot, it seems to spread to all 5. And even a spare doesn't feel good. I mentioned one of 3 possible Mark Roth MVP candidates stepping up right here. I would think Jesper Svensson and Dick Allen deserve consideration as well. But Chris Barnes is the anchor man. I think he's thrown 1 bad shot in this entire event. Just overpowering the pins, the Hall of Famer. Overpowering.
Completely different line to the pocket than any other player in the event.
And it hasn't changed in the quarterfinals to the semifinals to the finals. It's been the same shot. Awful break for the Hitmen, and especially for Matt.
And that's kind of been the theme. Tough break on a good shot.
Well, I would ask Mark Roth how to convert that, but that's not how it's done, obviously. The Atom Splitters are ever closer to a 3rd PBA League title, getting their names engraved once again. You see there, 2014, 2015. We are close to 2018. We want you to head to PBA.com and check out the latest PBA Bowling Challenge mobile game for iPhone, iPad, and Android devices. More than 20 million people have downloaded the popular game, which now features new weekend challenges with different locations, equipment, and opponent options, and in-game rewards. Click on the PBA Bowling Challenge mobile game, link at PBA.com. Get started today. Well, let's get to Randy's Track Tech Talk. Who'd you pick today?
Matt Sanders, unfortunately, coming off of that last shot, that pocket 7-10. But this is what I love about his game. And we see that today in the modern game, how the swing is out and away from him. That allows the ball to tuck up underneath him so he can project the ball to the left. And then the beautiful finish, these lines that I draw on Matt, look at from head to his trail leg and then that beautiful knee bend. It's just beautiful positions for Matt Sanders.
You know, the Adams splitters going for the front six right here. Jesper Svensson. And the Hitmen facing an extraordinarily difficult road to try to stay alive. They can, if they somehow come back, still win the Elias Cup. Jesper waiting for the cue. He's ready to roll. Now, the last time we took a break and he came back up, he didn't strike. See how he does this time. Really well.
The two-handed, left-handed monster from Sweden. I don't think we've ever seen his eyes get that big.
Nope. That's not his MO, except when he's here.
Yeah.
Johnny Russell, a long way to go and a beautiful shot. But not really celebrating.
Right now, Adams splitters are thinking one thing and one thing only. Let's end this now and let's get a brick.
Uh-oh. Not going to happen on the brick anyway.
Had to happen sooner or later. Let's go.
There's Tom Clark, commissioner of the PBA, on the foreground, and Charlie Mitchell. This is his building. And Charlie wears a different outfit for every show. Put together there by Dick Allen.
It had to happen sooner or later. It had to happen sooner or later. Every year we have a chance, and you let me down.
I'm already giving him a little grief.
A little pep talk from Tom Doherty.
And tracking the pocket beautifully there, low cheddar, but is it too late?
Now that Adams splitters are in the 240s now. Max score for Philly is 236.
Your feet were dead under you on that shot.
Adams splitters could get as high as 278 if they take it off the sheet. Last couple from A.J. Johnson have been explosive. Again, the crowd yelling bam, bam, and that's about what it's looked like the last two shots.
Nine spare works. As long as they keep filling frames with marks, they'll stay in the 240s with reasonable count.
Yeah, you don't want to make any serious goof-ups here and give Philly any chance. And we are in the 8th. That's an important shot.
No doubt.
Tom Smallwood will try to make it 3 in a row. Messenger will not make it to the door.
All but over now.
The Adams splitters didn't lose a game.
Not one game, not one roll off for them. And most every game wasn't close.
No drama. The song goes.
It's over.
This is what he's talking about. You guys are quiet.
It'll be a third-time championship for Mark Baker and the Silver Lake Adams Splitters. And they are
That was for you, Randy. I didn't said I couldn't do it again.
Someone call a medic. I can't take any more solid 8s. Tom Doherty's left 3 of them.
Let's listen to the crowd for a moment.
And then
They said I couldn't.
And then the chant of Randy afterwards. Oh my!
What's the line? They kid because they care.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get that pin and give that to you as an award.
Taking a re-rack. You called it.
Well, I tell you what, with this Silver Lake team, there have been 2 constants in their championships. Mark Baker, the manager, and Chris Barnes.
Yeah.
Chris won it in 14. He's won it in 15. He's going to win it in 18. And that's how. My heavens, he's still hot.
Yeah! I'll tell you the other thing for me is Mark Baker and Chris Barnes have put together some pretty good teams over the years.
Yes, they have. Guys are very close.
Yeah.
Mark's one of the few people that Chris will listen to about his game. It'll be very interesting to see how the Mark Roth MVP is decided.
Mark holding up his son Gage to celebrate with this team.
Good job, brother. Good job, man.
You're still the man. You got it.
And Matt Sanders, going to be a runner-up finish for Matt, but he has just shown so much class in his game.
Yeah.
So many big shots. He got them to this position. He got them to the finals, and they just got run over by a runaway train here. It happens.
Hey, great job. Great workout.
And it's funny because we talked about how they averaged 245 coming into the finals, and they throw up a 246 to wrap it up. Right on the, almost on the number. Just too good. It happens.
Undefeated.
8-0, the Adams Splitters. As dominant a performance as the Elias Cup has ever seen, the Silver Lake Adams Splitters are the first 3-time champions in the history of this event.
You will get to meet our champions. The Adams Splitters will be standing by for the Elias Cup trophy presentation when we return to Portland, Maine. The OceanView at Falmouth PBA League Elias Cup Finals are brought to you by Go Bowling. For promotional offers, tips to improve your game, news, or to locate a bowling center near you, log on to gobowling.com. By Revision Energy, an employee-owned solar company serving Maine, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. Revision Energy. Enjoy the sun. By the United States Bowling Congress, creating competitive opportunities at all levels as we build a future for the sport. Visit bowl.com for more. And by Barbasol Razors. Here's a no-brainer. Barbasol is making razors. Try the Barbasol Ultra 6 Plus today. So the brackets tell the story. The Silver Lake Adams Splitters were the number 5 seed after qualifying, but they ran through everybody. They took out Brooklyn 2-0, Motown 2-0, and really 4-0 for the Adams Splitters over the Hitmen here. They win it all in incredibly dominant fashion. For the Hitmen, they made a nice run to get to the finals, and Randy caught up to Jason Couch and the Hitmen.
And thanks, Jason. Thanks so much for giving us a moment of your time. I know this is tough and defeat, but it just seemed like the last 4 games in the finals, your team had trouble striking. What happened?
Guys got in a little bit of a rut. You know, I'm not at all disappointed in my guys. You know, I'm so proud of them. They performed well all week. We just kind of got in that rut. You know, sometimes you get in that rut where you can't really get things going, and we changed lineups. We tried doing a couple different things. Sometimes it just happens.
This was your first time in the finals. What was that like?
Well, you know me, bro. Emotion on my sleeves, so I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it. And there's not a doubt in my mind, my guys will be back here.
Thanks for your time, Jason. Matt, quickly, this was your first time here in Portland, Maine. Talk about the experience and what it was like for you, especially when manager Jason Couch asked you to anchor the team.
It was crazy, but we said earlier any 5 guys on a team would take that spot. We believe that, so I appreciate him having me there, and hopefully we'll be back next year.
All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for your time and great event.
It was indeed for Philadelphia, Randy, but our Geico Championship recap dominated by the purple.
Game 1, set 1. Adam Splitters got out to a red-hot start. They threw a 6-bagger in the middle of the game and never looked back, winning 248-189. Game 2, however, different animal. Came down to the 10th frame. Anchor bowler Chris Barnes for the Adam Splitters. He gets not 1, not 2, but all 3 in the 10th, forcing Matt Sanders to do the same. Sanders would get a double, and then he would leave 9 on his last shot. So set 1 goes to the Adam Splitters. Game 1, second set. Well, the Adam Splitters were at it again. A little bit lower scoring pace, but still the big victory. A double in the 7th and 8th. Another one by anchor bowler Chris Barnes in the 10th, and they win Game 1 of set 2, 202, 163. Then in the finale, the Adam Splitters got off to a red-hot start, starting with the front 6 and never looked back. They win the final game, 246 to 192. They win the Elias Cup the 3rd time.
And Kimberly is standing by with the winners.
And joining me right now is Mark Roth with the MVP presentation.
For the 2018 MVP, it goes to Chris Barnes, clutching it as usual, like 4 or 5 years ago in Jersey. Congratulations again, number 2.
Thanks, Mark. It's an honor to get a trophy with your name on it. You've been all our hero. You've been all our inspiration.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.
You know, Chris, Mark said it perfectly here that you were clutch when you needed to be for your team every single time out there. How much did it mean to you to make sure you stepped up and did it by example?
Like I said, we had a bunch of anchor guys on this team. All of these guys would have thrown strikes in the same situation. I was just the lucky one at the end. So we all believed in each other. It made it easier at the end because everybody had everybody else's back.
Well, you know what? This team was explosive all through the entire league, but you shined and you earned this MVP. But right now, I'd like to introduce the commissioner and the CEO, Tom Clark, for the trophy presentation.
Thank you, Kimberly. That was the most dominating performance in the history of the PBA League and the Elias Cup. Undefeated record all the way through to the 2018 champions and manager Mark Baker, the Go Bowling Silver Lake Adam Splitters. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mark.
Oh, wow, the Adam Splitters. Mark, you put together this team. How proud of you of the fact that you not only put this team together, but they came out here and dominated the entire league.
I'm not very rarely speechless, but these guys just flat out bowled. It was an honor to coach them. They made my job easy. I just kept giving high fives.
If you have a choice, you're going to keep everybody for next year.
Man, if they let us keep them all back, I would love to have this 5 and try this again.
Now, let's talk real quick to AJ. This is your first time out for the PBA League, and you know what? You came out here and did it when you had to. What was this experience like to come out here and actually win your first time?
This experience was like no other. Team bowling is, probably some of the best that we ever have, and these guys behind me are really good, and it made it that much easier to show up when I needed to. So it was like experience like no other. This is awesome.
You guys as a team have absolutely earned that trophy.
Well, that is absolutely correct. This was utter dominance, as you heard the commissioner say. Didn't lose a game the whole way. And by the way, just explain what Kimberly was talking about with Mark Baker. He can only keep 3. Right. He's got to throw 2 back in and hope somehow they bounce back to him in the draft. And he's got a very difficult decision to make for next year.
Well, I think the decision to keep the 3 that he normally keeps is going to be pretty easy. And then it just depends on who falls in his lap. But Mark's proven over the years that he's really good at picking the right talent.
So we looked at this event. We had LAX on top. The Hitmen were kind of a surprise as they worked their way through. And we've had another successful and fun time here in Portland, as we always do.
Well, yeah, we really did. And like Tom Clark said, this is the most dominating performance that we've seen in the 6 years of the Elias Cup. It seemed like from the onset that the Atom Splitters were destined to win. But you know what? They bowled fantastic. I mean, they really bowled their ears off.
Yeah, you had Jesper Svensson in the #1 position. He was nearly flawless. And the Baron of Bayside, Dick Allen, also a huge acquisition because he's so comfortable in this building, and it showed during the event. That'll do it for the PBA League Elias Cup and beautiful Bayside Bowl in downtown Portland. It was a championship, the 3rd one for the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. They hold a record now. Through 6 years, they are the first 3-time champions, and they have a great base for next year. For Kimberly Pressler, Randy Peterson, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Dave Lamont. Thank you for watching the PBA League.